Welcome, welcome, welcome! Tonight we are learning about digital media and more tools for filmmaking in the classroom. A quick reminder to make sure that you are signed in. That's the only way that you get your certificate. It's the only way that we know you are here. Oh, we have people chatting in the chat box. They know each other. They love each other. I love it. Okay, how do you sign in? You go to educatoralexander.com/sign-in, or you click on the little web links box, click on sign in, click on browse to. Let's get this party started. Today's webinar is brought to you by LACUE, the Louisiana Association of Computer Using Educators. It is free to join. If you are a techie or you're interested in being a techie or you are just getting started, you want to join LACUE. You can find more information at lacue.org. We have a conference every December that people absolutely love. Our next one is in December 2017. It is also sponsored by Educator Alexander Consulting, LLC. Today's webinar's presenter is Morgan Vondenstein. She is amazing, and she's going to tell us much more about the tools for filmmaking in the classroom. And your host is me, Desiree Alexander, aka Educator Alexander. At the end, we will have an evaluation. I like to show it to you in the beginning just so you know. It's the exact same website except /evaluation instead of /sign in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started. I am going to tell you about another webinar. We have one once a month. I know that's amazing. And we have one coming up in February. And if you would like to actually do one of these and present one of these, you need to let me know at educatoralexander@gmail.com. Educatoralexander@gmail.com. And you can actually present. I'll host for you. You present, give us that good information, and that will be awesome. But tonight, Morgan is here to give us the awesome information and all she knows about filmmaking in the classroom. Morgan, I'm going to mute myself and shut my mouth and give it over to you.
Thank you so very much. It's so nice to have a great audience tonight. I'm super excited to have all of you here with me tonight. I do have a Google Slides presentation, and I'm going to be using the iMovie app, which is compatible with Mac computers. Can everybody see my screen? Hopefully so. So you can access my presentation and resources. Oops. Hopefully everybody can see me here. You can access all of my presentation at tinyurl.com/gatorsgreenscreen. So you'll find the presentation along with lots of tutorials in case I go a little too fast tonight. And if I do, just stop me and I'll slow down a little bit. But I want to dive right in. So just a little introduction. I am located in Lafayette, Louisiana. I teach at Ascension Episcopal School, which is great school. I work at the downtown campus. We have 3 campuses in 3 different locations. And we are one-to-one iPads starting in 1st through 12th grade. And we're also an Apple Distinguished School, which is why I wanted to present a little bit on iMovie and how we're using technology in the classroom. So this is, oh, here we go. This always happens. Good old technology. This is my little boy right here in the screen. That's my husband. So I stay very busy. I also design a little bit on the side. So just a little bit of background. I previously taught pre-K in Crowley. Then I taught 4th. Then I taught 1st through 7th grade computer lab. And now I teach media literacy, which is probably one of my favorite jobs of all time. I started the program 2 years ago. And it basically just kind of, I teach them about the process of filmmaking, brainstorming and storyboarding and script writing, where they produce and direct their own films. This year we started our Blue Gator Buzz, which is our weekly newscast, which is pretty cool. The kids run and direct it themselves. So just a little tour of my little studio, then I'll come back to why should we film anyway? What's the big deal? Why is it so important? So we revamped kind of my studio this past summer. I have a great crew. As you can see, some of the kids here, we have a design space located where they kind of get to storyboard and edit. And then this right here is a window that leads into this room where they actually film. We have lots of nice, good equipment, but do you need all that? No, you do not need all of that for filmmaking. All that you need is an iPad, an iPhone, or even a computer with some access to a camera. So today we're going to be using iMovie, which is a Mac-based app. There's an app on the iPad. There's also an app on the computer. Now, if your computer is older than 2012 or 2013, the iMovie app does cost money, but it's free with all new Mac computers, Apple computers. If you do not have a Mac device, don't fear. Windows does have Windows Movie Maker. Today I'm going to be showing you iMovie, but hopefully you can take some of it away and use it and apply it in your classroom. I'm going to go back to this slide and talk a little bit about how we got started. Media literacy, I think, is really important, especially in light of the recent election. There was a lot of what we call clickbait. I don't know if you've seen that, where they actually, somebody posts a story and it links it to something else that with this crazy title, and it gets people to comment on it without actually reading the story. And I find that a lot of the kids do that when they're doing research. They just click on a bunch of stuff, and then the first thing that pops up, they think, okay, that's right, because it came up first on my screen. So this actually is a great article if you want to read it. I have lots more. John Spencer is one of my favorite. He does these cool little videos where he sketches things out. But anyway, so filmmaking is really important to me because I think that the kids get to collaborate and communicate and talk. They get to write their own scripts and storyboard. Then they're practicing public speaking while they're on camera. And believe you me, if you haven't been on camera, oh, it's pretty nerve-wracking. Because when they ask me to be on camera, I have a hard time sometimes. So just practicing all of those skills is a real good learning experience, especially since the jobs that are out there, whenever they get out of college, probably don't even exist yet. So we really are preparing them for the challenges of tomorrow, the jobs of tomorrow. If you hear anything that you like, feel free to tweet us at morgv3 or Blue Gator Media. You can also find our YouTube channel on that site. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, jump into iMovie. If you have any questions, I know Desiree said she can interrupt me and tell me, hey, hold on, stop. I can't really see the chat right now. So feel free to ask questions on the side, and I can stop and answer any if you have them. So today we're just going to talk a little bit about what is in making a movie. We're going to learn how to add photos and videos, how to trim clips, which means to make them longer or shorten them, how to add music, because music plays a huge part in making a video, and how to make any kind of effects like black and white, slow motion. And then I want to show you how to export it and share it to the world, because after you've spent some time in creating something, you have to share it. So the first step, you have to get footage. I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail about how we get started in the classroom about recording, but if you would, if you want to hear more about the process, I have some slides later on in this presentation. Feel free to kind of scroll through them at the bottom. But the first thing that you need to do is get some footage. You can use the camera app on your iPhone, on your iPad. You can use a handheld camera. We have some pretty cool Canons. And then you need to upload that footage to your computer. I use AirDrop all the time. If you haven't heard of AirDrop, I have a tutorial in that resource folder which kind of shows you how it works. It just basically gets the photos off your phone onto your computer. And then I normally go through it before because I don't want to have all kinds of extra stuff that I won't be using. So I usually go through the stuff and delete the photos before I upload them to my computer. And if you have questions about that, I can answer them later. But a few production tips while y'all are recording. My kids record themselves and each other, and they've learned a few things, and they've put together a list of tips. So the first huge tip is to hold the camera landscape and not portrait, because if you hold it up and down, which is portrait, you're going to have black sides on the sides of your video. I don't know if you've seen the news sometimes when people record things out in public, it kind of blurs out the sides. Turn up the volume all the way, and I can't stress that enough. If your volume is on 2 instead of full blast, it's going to be really hard to hear the people you're trying to record. Before we had tripods, we actually just used chairs to hold the camera steady. Nobody likes a shaky camera. They always say you have to speak loud, even louder than you would think. And then make sure you just preview, like whenever you start recording a clip, just make sure it sounds good before you record the whole entire class saying something, or before you go forward with it. And just really have fun, because video should be fun. Movie making in the classroom should be fun. Embrace the mistakes, and just go with it. And if you do use a green screen, which I have a few tips with green screen, just make sure that the entire green screen's in the back, that you don't include the floor. And I can explain that a little bit later as to why it doesn't work. So here are a few things that we're doing this year. We've been using film iMovie in the classroom for about 4 years now, at least, if not more. But we really have been using it this year for online journals. We have a teacher who teaches GatorMade who does weekly entries as they're doing their, and GatorMade's just kind of a tinkering class where they get to build paper airplanes or design thinking type challenges. So they do little journal entries on their iPad. Since they're one-to-one, they each have an iPad. So they just say, hey, here's what we're learning about, here's what we're doing, and here's the process, here's what we learned today in our experiment. If anything, if you don't get anything from this, how many of you have taken 10 photos and a few videos that you thought were really cute, and you're like, oh, I don't want to just, blast this to all the parents or my colleagues, because they're not going to want to sit there and scroll through every picture. But look, if you put in a video, people love it. They eat it up. So we also do, we've used it to retell scenes in a story. Chelsea, who's listening in, did some math videos. So you can really use this in every subject. So if I go too fast as I'm teaching you about iMovie, please stop me. I promise this might seem a little overwhelming at first, but the more you play along with it, the better you're gonna do. And I really started out 2 years ago knowing nothing. I had never opened up iMovie in my life. I'd never done any kind of video editing. So if I can do it and I can teach myself, so can you. So here we go. We're gonna begin. If at any point, you have kids or supper's cooking, I have a recorded tutorial in that shared folder, which looks like this. This is the desktop version that we're going to be using today. I also have this AirDrop video, and then I also have the iMovie app tutorial. The app is a little bit different than the desktop version. It has kind of the same features, it just looks different. And the iMovie app doesn't have as many features as what I'm going to show you today. So I have a few sample videos and then resources for projects. And actually, this is a video this lesson crashers that a colleague and I did today, which if you want a good laugh, you should watch it. So here goes. We're going to first start with iMovie. Let me get out of this real quick so we can start something new. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Okay, so iMovie can be found down here at the dock, and if it's not in the dock, you can find it using the spotlight search up here, which if you type in iMovie, it will pop on up. So we're going to go ahead and start a new movie. Now, let me tell you this. The trailer is something really super easy to use to begin with. It's kind of like a trailer that you would see at the movies to promote a new movie. But the cool thing about it is it has kind of a pre-done script where all you have to do is put in pictures and videos. So, and then so all you have to do is put in your text here and your pictures, and it kind of just puts together a movie with music. My kids start off the year with a project inspired from Don Goble, which it's Dongoble, I believe. He's on Twitter. I think his handle is dgoble2011. I can clarify that at the end. But he does an I Am project, which is super cute and cool. That was in the photos that you saw, the QR codes. We did that for a welcome back night, which is right here. And they just had to tell about themselves, find baby pictures, and things about them that they wanted their classmates to know. It was awesome. So that's how we use trailers. But today we're going to do a movie. So you hit the plus button and hit movie. Feel free to go ahead and do this along with me if you want to make your own while we're doing it. So I want to first direct you to this side library. So these right here that you see are called events. So the way that I can explain to you what an event is, it's kind of like a box that if you would take all your photos and videos from Christmas and you would stick them inside a box, that would be like an event. But what a project is, what a movie is like if you would take those pictures from all these boxes and then you would make a scrapbook for someone. That's kind of like what a project is down here. Down here, this is called your timeline, okay? And then this little thing right here is called a playhead. And I'll explain more about what those features are. So, as you can see, I already have stuff in my library, but you may not. You may just see this big arrow pointing down, which is also located right here. So there's two ways to import photos or videos or sound, and that's to press that button, the little import button. So you can select however many things that you want. This was from today, our Lesson Crashers video. So you can select if you want all the stuff from between this and this. You can hold the shift button down and select more than one. If you only need, if you want all of these plus, let's say the turtle, you can hold the command button down and select other files that are not in the same order. So when you're done, you will move this out the way. You're going to hit import selected. You can also open up your folder on your desktop here, and you can just drag in whatever you need. This was the behind the scenes of what went on today. Looks like fun, right? So those are ways of importing your photos and videos. So if your iMovie looks a little bit different, I'm using the version 10.1.4. The older version, sometimes all of these things up here are down here. So maybe just update your Mac, your computer if that's the case. Okay, so if I want to rename an event, just to let you know, you can click to highlight and then click again, and you can rename it Great Barrier Reef, which is the movie that I'm going to show you how to make today. All right, now let's start making our movie. So I'm going to first start out with, I'm going to scroll down. See, I have this bar right here that I can move, or I can just scroll with my mouse. I'm going to start out with this, which is a movie file with no sound. We didn't record any sound with this, but I'm going to drag this into my timeline. Then I'm going to also drag in a few pictures. So I just click and I drag. Now notice you can put stuff on top, which I'll tell you about what that means to layer. But right now I just need you to stick the images right next to each other. You can use the tab to scroll this way. Again, stop me if I'm confusing you or if I'm going too fast. And then I'm just going to drag it to the side. All right, so I've put in a few things. This little button right here, guys, kind of makes your screen, makes it kind of zoom out. It doesn't actually change the length of the clips. It just zooms out to where you can see your entire project. And then I'm going to get this at the end. All right. So here we go. I've added in a few pictures and videos. And I'm just going to start small today. So this little video right here, if you notice, it says 22.8 seconds. Well, I don't think you want to watch me for 28 seconds flying through the air. Well, and if you do, I guess you could leave it. But I want to show you right now how to trim or shorten the clip. So if you notice my mouse or my cursor, if I come to the end of the clip, it changes into two arrows pointing in opposite directions. So if I click and drag to the left, I can shorten my clip. And if you notice, the length of the clip, it's showing it's about 8.9 seconds right now. So I'm going to shorten it to about 7 seconds. Okay, and then this little image right now is how many seconds? 8. Well, that one might be okay, but let's say this is 4. Let's say I want this to be a little bit longer because I love to look at scuba divers. You can extend it this way, or you can extend it this way. One thing that you can't do is some videos, if you only recorded 3 seconds of video, like for instance, I'll make this back longer. This video is 22.8 seconds, and notice it's red, and I can't extend it any longer, right? So whenever you're recording, whatever you're doing, I would record more than what you need because you can trim these clips and you can edit them. So record more. It's better to have more than not enough. I always tell the kids that. If for some reason you say, well, wait, I want this to be at the end, you can click it and you can change the order. So even if you mess up and you put something in there, it's okay. You can change the order. Any questions so far? Everybody's okay? Okay, hopefully I still have people tuned in and I haven't lost anybody. So here we go. Do you notice right here, well, let me first show you this. This right here in the middle shows me that I'm at 23 seconds into my 27-second long movie. And if I want to play it, this is called, anybody remember what this is called? My Playhead. So I'm going to bring my Playhead all the way back to the beginning. And if I just want to kind of see what it looks like, I can hit this play button, or I can hit the space bar, and it's going to start playing my video. So I'm going to come right here to the end. Do you notice how this kind of zooms in on the picture? Well, I didn't do that. iMovie automatically, it's really cool, turns on what is called the Ken Burns effect. And the Ken Burns effect All it is it takes a starting point and it moves it to an ending point. So I'm going to show you how you can change that right now. So I want to change this picture right here because I want to see a little bit more of what's in the picture. So I'm going to click on the picture and then go up here. This is my inspector where it gives you a lot more options to edit. Do you see the crop button? So if I click on that crop button, this is called the Ken Burns effect. So notice it started it here and then it ends here. So you can always start it somewhere like where it's smaller, kind of where you don't really know where you're going, and end it here, or you can end it here. It's just kind of what you feel like looks good. Sometimes Ken Burns cuts off kids' heads, so you have to fix it. So that's how you fix it. If you just want it to crop to fill, that just means it's going to fill up the rectangle, and that's it. And then fit, it's going to fit it just like that, and you're going to have some black on top and on bottom because it's not this picture that I got from Pixabay, Pixabay.com, which I'll talk to you about in a little bit, was not a perfect 4x6 picture. So I'm going to come back and talk about a few more of these things in a minute, but I want to kind of talk to you really quick about some of these tabs here. Audio, I'm going to come back to that because you should add audio last. And here's why. You can find a great song and then stick it in here, and then you moved clips around and then your song doesn't fit. So I always tell the kids, as much as we love music, we have to do that last. So,
Morgan, we do have a question.
Sure.
Someone was having trouble clipping parts out, and she wanted to know if you were going to show that. She's more interested in trimming it in the middle.
Oh, okay, trimming it in the middle. Oh, look at you. Okay, let's say I want to trim my video in the front part. You want to trim it here, right? So put your playhead wherever you want to trim it, and then right click on this clip and put split clip. Then you can, I'm going to make this zoom out, then you can move this all the way at the end. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, I'm happy that y'all are working alongside me. Great. Okay, fun stuff. Titles. Every good movie needs a title, right? And these are pretty self-explanatory. Just like the images, you just take whichever one you want and you drag it into the timeline. Now notice you can put a title on top of a clip or a video, or you can drag it directly into your timeline where these little bars are. And it automatically lets you edit your text, but if for some reason you clicked off of it, you can click back on the title and hit this T button here, and you can start typing. So we would put Adventures with, and I'm going to click here, Miss V and Miss G. Now you can change the font, whatever you want. You can change the color, so you have all of these formatting options if you would like to change it. So you want to keep something that you can read though, so just make sure you choose a font you can read. So you can also add titles, like I said, on top of videos. So let me get out of here. I just clicked here in the play in the timeline to get out of that. So I can add a title on top of a video and put teachers are superheroes. Is it ES? Yes. No, I don't know. Look, you English teachers, correct me. So you can put a title on top, and you can also extend the title if you want it to last the whole time, or you can shorten it. But a good rule of thumb, which is what I tell the kids, is if you put a big long title, you have to be able to read it. So at least a minimum of 4 to 5 seconds for a title. That has to happen, or else people are going to just kind of skim over it and they're not going to be able to read what you have. Okay, so titles. Any questions with titles? Okay, I'm going to click here on background. Now, all you social study teachers, watch out, because you're going to love this. So this is maps and backgrounds. I'm going to choose this educational map, and I'm going to stick it here. Now notice it just has San Francisco, but if I select it, I can put my location, so wherever my students are. So Lafayette, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time. I'm going to double click on it, and then I'm going to type in Great Barrier Reef in Australia. Done. So watch this. I'm going to hit the space bar to hit play. And now it's a customized map to wherever you're going, wherever you're learning, which is pretty cool. And if that was too fast for you, you can extend it. And then when you play it, it's going to go a little bit slower so that your kids can see it. So that is a nice little map if you're trying to show the kids something or you wanted to put that in there. They have all sorts of maps there that you can play with. Since we're doing the Great Barrier Reef, I like this underwater background. So backgrounds are pretty cool because you can drag them into your timeline here. And it kind of just has a moving background, or they have just regular backgrounds. But what I like to do is put my title on top of that background. And instead of the black screen, you have a cool little background to introduce it. Any questions about backgrounds? You may have to extend it again to make it fit. So there's all sorts of backgrounds here that you can use. And then I'm going to just go ahead and do transitions, which transitions are nice because if you play from here to here, notice how it jumped really fast. If I put in a transition, again, I just click in and drag it in. It's pretty user-friendly. Instead of just that big jump, it faded to white, which was pretty cool. So you can add in transitions between everyone if you wanted to, or you don't have to put transitions. It's just something extra that adds to the effect. Okay, so a few more things before I move on. Any more questions? Are we feeling okay about this? Yep. Okay, so I have showed you Ken Burns already, which is this little crop button. Now I want to show you how in the world did we get clouds behind me and Miss Grow here. So what we did, let me find our clouds picture. Here it is. And if you want to go back to your media, you just click My Media here. So I'm going to drag this little clouds picture into my library here. So it's just like the weatherman, if you think about it, the meteorologist on TV. He stands in front of the green screen, right, which has all the weather maps and stuff behind him. So it's kind of the same thing whenever you're editing in iMovie. In order for you to disappear, which is what keying is, or green screen, it keys out all the other colors. It keys out the green so that all the other colors show up. So I drug this into my timeline, and then I'm going to drag this video. Make sure you select the whole thing. I'm going to drag it on top. Okay? So now notice it's still on top, but you can't see the clouds. So click on your video, your green screen video, if you have one, and if not, just watch, and you can set up a little. Look, we didn't have a green wall to begin with. All I took was some green paper from the dollar store, and I hung it on the wall, and that was our green screen. All this is a table with a green tablecloth that we're flying on. So you can be anywhere with a green screen, which is why I love it. So here we go. This button right here, the two little squares, if you click it, and you change this option to green blue screen, Miss Grow and I are now flying through the clouds. And now we're flying over the island. So let's just say I don't want us flying over the island. I can shorten this clip, or I can extend this clip to make it the whole way. So any questions about the green screen? Just don't wear green or else you're going to disappear. I don't know how many times we have made that. And I know I mentioned in our first, when we just kind of introduced the green screen, if you notice in this video, let me add it again. When we recorded, let me put this in a timeline so you can see. When we recorded this, notice we just got what showed the green, because if not, you're going to see us flying through the air, and then you would see floor right here. So wherever there's not green, it doesn't disappear. See, if you do a green screen, you have to make sure that you just get the green in the picture, or you crop out your videos so that it doesn't show. All right, so only a few more things left, and then I'll answer all your questions that you have, and we can move on if we have some extra time. So one cool thing that I like, just like Instagram, Facebook, if you take a picture, sometimes we don't always like the picture, but you know, as teachers, we have to be on camera because our kids love it. Hey, there's a filter for it. So I want to take this picture, even though I think it's a pretty good picture of us. I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to hit this 3 little circle button here, and you can change, ta-da, all your clips to whatever you would like. This is one of my favorites. I like this. So if I double click it, it will apply that effect. And if you say, I don't really like it, you can always hit the reset button, and it'll reset to what it was before. And then at last, any questions about filters? You can apply it to videos as well. So, but I don't think the green screen would work if you applied that. Let's just try it out. Nope, wouldn't work. So won't work on the green screen if you want it to still disappear. Another cool thing that I like is the fact that you can do slow motion. You see this little speedometer looking gear? You can speed things up, or you can slow things down. And so it kind of looks silly, but if you look at the lesson crashers, we took Miss Schutz today and we slow motioned her falling over kind of, and the kids laughed and laughed and laughed, and she was a good sport too. So slow motion is sometimes cool if you have things that are really fast in real life, like a science experiment that was exploding. You could slow it down, and then the kids can actually see what's happening. Or when you light a match, it's kind of like the movies. You can make things fast, and then freeze frame just freezes the part of the video wherever your playhead is, and you won't move. So if there's a video that you liked, that you really enjoyed, the kids smile, or you wanted to focus on a certain part, freeze frame is a great thing for you. So last but not least, audio. And if y'all have any questions, please feel free to stop me. I hope I'm not going too fast, or I'm not going over your head here. But audio, I tell the kids to do it last, and here's why. You won't have Final Cut Pro. That's a step above iMovie, which is what we use in my class. But there's animal sounds, there's jingles, there's sports sounds. I really like the jingles because they're kind of just preset little fun pre-recorded things. And then sometimes They have one like a news show broadcast. So this one is the same song, but this one's only 8 seconds. This is only 21 seconds, and this is only 38 seconds. Let me go back to Dewdrops because I like that one. If you want to preview them, you just click it and you can play it. So I'm going to drag this down, and normally we put audio down here at the bottom. So you can drag it in, and now you have a nice put together video. So can you imagine the kids would just eat this up if you did a little intro to a lesson, or you just even took their pictures and you made a little quick video. This doesn't last my whole thing, right? So here's where I want to introduce you to my favorite websites to find copyright-free music and images. And here's why you need copyright-free. If you want to upload something to YouTube, YouTube will not allow you to use like Toby Mac's Christian rock song, even though not everybody knows about Toby Mac. He is pretty well known, but because he owns it and he doesn't give you permission, YouTube will not publish your video. So I love this website, jamendo.com. It's got all sorts of cool music. The kids absolutely love this. I try and tell them to do their own music in GarageBand, but let's face it, this has great music for free and it's copyright free. A lot of the things I search are upbeat or instrumental, or sometimes I even search my favorite band on here. And the kids, if you've watched any episode of Blue Gator Buzz, this is where they get their music. C-Stock. Why is it not coming up? Here we go. This is them. And I love their music. They have a lot of little upbeat songs. So you can download these for free by clicking this little arrow here. I have already downloaded one. It's in my folders and it's right here. It's in my downloads. If you're not familiar with where your downloads are, if you come up here to the Finder and you hit Go Downloads, it's also here. And then all you have to do is drag your music down into here. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so I can see how long my song is. And I'm going to move it all the way to the front. And so I want to show you kind of what it looks like. So notice my song is way too long. I'll go ahead and trim that. You can trim it just like what you would do with a clip. I always leave a little tiny bit at the end. I'm going to zoom in because I want to show you something here. You see these little waves down at the bottom? These are the sound waves. So if you see some yellow, that means it's probably a little bit too loud. So you can turn it down, and here's how I did that. Do you see this line that's on the music? If you have a video too with audio, you'll have a little line there as well. If you put your cursor on that line, it changes to two little arrows pointing in opposite directions. You can turn it down. So whenever I play it, it's not as overpowering. So I'm going to show you two more things and then answer any questions that you have. I want to show you how you can fade the music, because if you, let's face it, at the end, it just kind of stops. So if I faded the music in or out, all that means is it's not a sharp end, it's a gradual end or a gradual start. And if you notice, as I move toward that line, do you see how the little dot appears? I can grab the dot and fade it like this. So you just pull it to the left if you're going to the left, or if you're starting from the beginning, you pull it to the right. So do you see how it was a much nicer gradual end to it? Then the last thing I want to show you before we export is how to do a voiceover. And basically what a voiceover is if you're seeing a picture on the screen, a voiceover will basically just have your voice in back of the image. So if you look right here, the little microphone, I can click on the red dot and it's going to start right here, and it's going to count down from 3, 2, 1. And so wherever your playhead is, when you hit the record button, that's where your voiceover is going to start. So I'm going to go ahead and record one. Join Miss Grow and Miss Vondenstein on an adventure to the Great Barrier Reef. Now notice how I didn't really time it that well, so it ended before. So I can just make my map a little bit longer. This is why I say record your voiceovers and do your audio last. Because just like what I did here, I recorded my voiceover and now I'm going to have to fix my song here at the end. So audio is always last. And the cool thing about voiceovers is whenever you play it, join Miss Grow. You notice how the music faded down? That's the cool thing about voiceovers. It automatically turns the music down while you're speaking. So voiceovers are really effective, especially if you just have a few things that you want to tell the students in your video. Okay, so I want to show you now how to export your video, and then I'm going to answer any questions you may have about the filmmaking process. Once you're done and you've watched your video and you've put in all your titles and your transitions and you're happy with it, you click on this share button up top and you can click on File. If you want to upload it directly to YouTube, you can, but I always upload it to a file first. That way I can put it in my Google Drive and I'll always have that video file in case I want to show it to anybody. You can change the name of it, so I'd put Great Barrier Reef Adventures. You don't really need to change this. The resolution, this is the highest resolution. If you're just doing something and you want to save up space, you can lower it to 720p. But I normally don't change much of anything. For this, it'll be faster, so I'll do 720p. Notice the file size reduces too when you do a lower quality. So I'm going to hit next. And then you can also change where it's saved. So mine's still saved to the desktop. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. If you look up here, now a circle appeared. And this circle is your kind of circle of progress, how far it is in writing your file. So while it's writing my file and it's copying it, I want to show you the YouTube sharing preferences, because the reason why I like YouTube so much, you can share it in Google Drive, but if you don't have the sharing settings on correctly in Google Drive, which is in here in your advanced, I have anyone on who has the link can view, but if you don't know how to change that, then some parents are going to say, well, I can't log in, I can't get the video. I like YouTube because it tells you how many people watched your video, so you know if only 3 parents watched it, then maybe you don't need to be making any more videos. But maybe the kids are so excited to see it and they want to share with their grandparents, and then you have over 100 views on your YouTube channel. It's pretty cool to see who you've reached. So to upload a video on a YouTube, you hit this upload button. And a few things to note. Before you upload, choose your privacy settings. Public just means that anybody and everybody can see your video. Unlisted means if I give the link to someone, then they can watch the video. If you don't have the link, you can't watch it. And then last, private just means only you can see it. So I'm just going to hit unlisted. And notice it says share successful. That's when you know you've done a good job and your video is shared. I'm going to close out these windows. And then all I do is drag my video into here. You can type a description, do whatever you need to do. And even if you hit done while it's still editing, it's still uploading. And it will give you a link that you can share. You just copy and paste this link into an email, shoot it to your whoever you want to shoot it to, your principal, your teachers, and you're good to go. So again, my favorite sites are Jamendo for music. YouTube even has a copyright-free music channel. Pixabay.com for images. They to me have the best images, copyright-free. Photos for Classes also. These are all safe for kids and copyright-free. So with that being said, I think sharing tips, just please make sure you say that again. Okay. I haven't experimented much with editing in YouTube. Are you trying to chop a video? Like if you find a YouTube video that you like, and then you try and chop it up, is that what you're suggesting maybe? Or editing everything in there? Um, well, if it's like a video log, a lot of the kids will put their iPads because they, were one-to-one. They put their iPads on a desk or a stool and they prop it up and they just record themselves with their iPad. Um, if you have like a handy camera, the kids love the little handheld cameras. It's something different and they eat it up. So if you have even old handheld cameras, you can use those. But honestly, the quality that the iPhone and the iPad cameras can do, you almost don't even need any other equipment to record except just those devices. The only thing that I would say is if you do have an iPad and you're recording on that, you have to be kind of close because if you're very far away, you won't be able to hear anything unless you're not trying to get the sound. If you're just trying to get the action, then it's fine. But if you do use an iPhone or iPad, you have to be kind of close to the microphone. Um, and as for editing in YouTube, I just like iMovie because as you could tell, they have all sorts of features versus trying to edit inside of something that if something goes wrong, I'm not sure if YouTube saves it automatically. iMovie, if I close it out right now, it's going to save it automatically. It saves every so often, so I don't have to worry about it losing any edits that I made. Any other questions? We actually have, and I wish I would have a picture of this. So I have these little camera kits. And then we also have two wireless mic kits, which are Sennheiser. I'll have to find. I can add some pictures if y'all want to of our equipment and the names and brands. Um, I would suggest if you had the money, they're probably about $600 a kit, which is very pricey, but we use them a lot, a lot, a lot. So best sound, your best bet would be to try and get some wireless mic kits, some lapel mics which rest on their collar. And if not, just turn the volume up all the way and get kind of close. Oh, I didn't show y'all this, but well, I did show you. If you wanted to get better sound, if you can't hear the students talk, remember how I showed you can turn the volume up or down in iMovie? So you can do that with a student's voice. If they talk really, really low, you can turn it up to 400, and that's the highest it'll go. And so you can get a little bit better quality of sound as well. Other questions?
Okay, Morgan, thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. And then if someone has any more questions, we can take them after we wrap up for those of you who have to leave on time. So if you can release control of the screen, Morgan.
And I just want to tell y'all too, this was a previous presentation I did at LACUE a few years back. So feel free to scroll through this, and it has some more tips and project ideas. Thank you so very much, and I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope it was informative, and have a great night.
Thank you for a wonderful, wonderful session, Morgan. I did want to let you know that we do have a February webinar coming up, and it is on the top 10 iPad apps. So you may want to check us out with that. It's on Saturday, February 4th from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. So it is 2 hours of iPad apps to use in your classroom. And you see that little asterisk at the bottom? She is going to be giving away an iPad app link at the end of the webinar, so you do not want to miss this one. Saturday, February 4th from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. So what we'll do right now is, if you need to leave and you filled out the evaluation, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We appreciate you being here. If you have any other questions, Morgan is now back in the room. So you can just type it out to Morgan. She will see your questions and she can answer you. And I'm going to go ahead and mute myself again.
So again, thank y'all so much. I'm surprised I didn't lose any attendees throughout my webinar, but I sure hope you enjoyed. Again, if you have any questions, type them in the box and I'll be happy to answer. Let's see. I want to make sure that I answered anything. Someone asked earlier, are people searching your video in YouTube from the description words or the title? Honestly, both. Can y'all still hear me? I can see Alexandra. Okay. So actually, you can do both. If the kids are trying to show their parents our Blue Gator Buzz videos, I do have them listed as public because the kids that are on there have already signed a pre-release form that they can be on the internet and used in whatever that we have. So if you search Blue Gator Buzz on YouTube, our little news show will come up. But if you also search by, let's see, if you wanted to find our YouTube channel, you can search by that. And Brandy, I see your beginners class. Are you looking for like teachers or students? I'd be happy to do some Skyping or Google Hangouts. Just email me and we can set something up. So thanks again so very much. I appreciate everything, guys. Have a great night.
Morgan, you were awesome, 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 awesome. Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you. Hopefully we can have you back. And thank you all for coming. You all have a wonderful, wonderful night.